What up, folks? Welcome back to the Source Code. I first want to give a special shout out to all of my subscribers. You guys, I used to always say my subscribers would survive a zombie apocalypse because you guys are some troopers. I can be one of the most inconsistent YouTube commentators out here. I just didn't have the legit time to invest in these games. I had time to play games, but sometimes people would lean on my reviews or my opinions of these games, and I just didn't want to put information out there without having spent the time to or invest the time in these games. I wanted to spend a lot of time on 2K8 or 2K18 as much time as I can, or as much time as I could, before I put out a video. In this video I'm playing, I think it's a training camp, some early footage. What I want to talk about is back in the day. I guess I'm just old. I guess I'm just going to put it out there. I guess I'm just old because I remember buying games, and when you bought the game, you bought the content within the game. I remember playing games like NBA Shootout and NFL Game Day, and on the first PlayStation. That's going to be before the time of many of you. Maybe some of you will relate, but when you bought the game, you bought the contents within the game. You didn't have to buy the disc, to have access to a virtual store, so then you can spend more money on things like shooting or arm sleeves and compression pants. We are now buying compression pants, and I know it's VC and you can earn VC just by investing time in the game, but when you bought the game back in the day, you bought the game. You bought the stuff that was in the game. And 2K, to me, the whole thing with this VC is just getting outrageous, especially with my career. It just seems that this is their mode where they want to make some extra money. When it comes to buying shoes, and we now are paying for virtual haircuts. I want that to sink into people's brain. Virtual hair, where we are having to pay for virtual haircuts. Considering that we have people in the YouTube community that go down and talk to the developers, they should be talking about this type of stuff. Why do we need to pay for a virtual haircut? Why do we need to pay for a virtual socks and things? Virtual socks, virtual sleeves and headbands and things like that, you have to pay for. Or if you don't want to pay real money for them, you have to invest more time in the game. And I have time to play video games as much of us, many of us do, but I don't want to spend extra time just to get a haircut or to customize my player how I see fit. I think that's what I paid the $59.99 for. What did I pay for? Did I just pay for access to a 2K store? So I have to pay for more things? But I'm rambling on here. I just want to say again, with the VC, it's always been out of control when they introduced the whole VC concept. But as far as this whole game is concerned, the core of the game, the mechanics of the game, it's slightly changed, in gameplay aspects, but you're still running in tar. Like, you sometimes feel like you're just running in place, and there isn't really much you can do about that. I did notice that sliders do work online, and I'm gonna make a video about that. Sliders do work online. People just think that they don't. They think that sliders are irrelevant when it comes to playing online. That's not true, and I'm going to show you that that's not true. That's not even true in Madden. I've been working with sliders so long that I can tell. I notice it. I think other people notice it, but it's not widely known. But they do work online. It will affect how your player moves. It will affect how your player shoots. So sliders do work online. You're still feeling like you're running in place. The computer is still manipulating the gameplay just to make it tough. That aspect hasn't changed either. You're still throwing passes, and the person who's receiving the pass The computer will fade them out to the 3-point line. They will, on fast breaks, they will fade them out to the corner. Still, when you're trying to do crossovers and you get into position to where you should be able to get past the defender, you're still held in place by an invisible wall so that the computer can get back in front of you. Badges and animations still overrule player position. That doesn't make sense to me. Animation shouldn't take over. Like if I'm playing if I'm going against a player who has, let's say, defensive stopper, and I don't have any badges, and let's say I'm a low 60 overall, and I'm going against someone who has defensive stopper and they're 99 overall. If I get by them somehow, some way, the computer will hold me in place still to allow that 99 overall to get into place. The animation will take over and shift them into position to where that defensive stopper badge will now be effective, because they will hold the 60 overall in place so that can work. It also works with ankle breaker and pickpocket and all these other badges. The animations will still take over. So that's still in the game, but I don't want to completely come down on 2K18 because they've made some improvements, especially when it comes to comparing this game to Madden. NBA Live, I played the demo, whatever it was. Can't remember what the name of it was, but their player models, to me, they need some work. But NBA Live has made some improvements also. Not as I wouldn't prefer that. I wouldn't prefer NBA Live over 2K18. But they've made some steps towards improving the gameplay and the foot planting. I think the foot planting in some cases are better than in 2K18, because 2K18, again, these animations are taking over. You're playing at the park. I'm playing at the park and sliding all over the place. Not just me, but everybody is sliding all over the place. I'm playing against people who have higher overalls than me. They can barely keep up with me at times because we're sliding all over the place. But I'm making sliders for this game. I think I'm going to spend most of my time in the My League or the My GM, whatever it's called. I don't remember. I'm going to spend more time there and customize this game as best as I can, because there is some potential. I do like the fact that they've added, you can go to your team, the team that you want. You can pick the number that you want. But these cutscenes, they got to do something with these cutscenes. They are lasting way too long. Who has the time to sit here and just watch these cutscenes? And they don't give you the option to skip. Force feeding these cutscenes, it's not working for me. I know that there's a lot of people out there that just love 2K, and despite how or what shape it's in, they're going to roll with it. It fuels their YouTube channels, and I mean that's how they roll, and I can respect that. But if we got the chance to do something about these issues, let's do something about these issues. I don't want to be worried about all this other this superficial stuff. The game looks good, but you can't tell me that the core gameplay, the core fundamentals, the things that were prohibiting, things like fast breaks, when you're trying to pass in the lane, you still got your teammates, they're still doing weird stuff. That stuff is still here, and I just don't understand how that stuff gets overlooked. And I take that back. I do understand, because that's how they depict their game, their difficulty setting. They got to slow you down. If you're going to have a difficulty setting, they're going to slow you down. How else are they going to make your player keep up with these high ranked players with all these badges? And some of this stuff is just ridiculous. But the game is still a pretty good game. I do like to play the game, but these things that have been in this game for a while now, they're still here. And I'm kind of rambling, but I do want to say that I'm making sliders, and I'll be back with more videos. People have been asking me about what's been going on. Like I said, I just didn't have the time to invest fully. I know people just on YouTube have a habit of just throwing videos out, just throwing them out just for views. But if I'm gonna make a video, especially on sliders, I want to know what I'm talking about. And in this video, I'm just pretty much just rambling. So I'm gonna end it here, And I'll be back with some more videos in the future.